The real weakness will be not to deal with that. The real strength will be to accept your vulnerability and to walk accordingly.
He built a fashion empire, then he nearly dropped dead.
It was a pre-conditioned heart attack. I stayed in ICU for 6 days. They're waiting for my heart to stop.
Now he trains CEOs, athletes and entrepreneurs to reset their minds and their bodies using just a chair, 5 minutes and 0 excuses.
They are the people who need meditation, breathwork, clarity, stretch, and healing, because they are the people who go to burn out.
What took you to your own business? Have you always had that entrepreneurial desire within you?
Absolutely not. I met someone who became my wife, and she's the one who introduced me to yoga. I pushed my education in yoga to become a master instructor.
How did this develop into what you deal with now with the entrepreneurs, the CEOs?
No one wants to admit that something's wrong. Either we don't want to see it, either we just simply don't see it.
What does depression mean to you?
If you refuse to handle your emotions, it will explode at some point. So the pressure that you build needs to be released.
When you were in the hospital, did you think you were going to die?
The sad part, I was ready. Maybe I don't deserve to live anymore, because I didn't take care of my body.
Talk to me about the power of breathing.
Breathing is everything. If you stop breathing, you die. Improving your breath will improving your health.
What does the business model look like for you now?
It's not about the thing, it's about how you do the thing. It's not that yoga is how you practice yoga.
You don't need time, you need a wake-up call.
Guys, Matt Haycock's here, and today I have got the yoga master, yogipreneur, Mr. Allaoua Gaham. I'm doing good?
Perfect.
Pretty good. Right, we're going to start this podcast off a little bit different because my guest, as I've just said, is a yoga master, and I am absolutely not a yoga master. Can barely touch my kneecaps, and I get a lot of grief about not stretching, and I always hear about the benefits of yoga. So we're going to start off with a little... a little yoga, a little stretch, but you may wonder where the mats are, as did I, and that is because we're not going to put any barriers between me and yoga today, because apparently entrepreneurs like us make too many excuses as to why we're not stretching, why we're not doing any yoga, and I'm going to learn how to do it in a chair, I think, am I?
Matt, this was perfect introduction and perfect explanation. Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for being here. Let's do
this
it.
This is how to start.
I want to be in a crab by the time the session finishes.
All right, definitely. What about handstand? Now, see why I think it's good to start with yoga on the chair. Because, as you said, we always find reason not to do yoga. I mean, not to do, a gym or fitness in general. It's very easy to procrastinate and say, okay, today I don't have the outfit, today that I did, today. So, good news, you can do this at any time of the day. You just need a chair. You can even do it in the car, so there's no excuses. So that's why it's something I want to share with everyone, because one of my calling is to actually help people to practice yoga when they don't want to, but they are probably the one that need the most. All right, so I'm working with athletes, so they are really aware about the physical. I'm working a lot with CEOs and entrepreneurs. They don't have time, or they don't want to make time. So we need to find a way for them to just have a quick fix, something that can be useful, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a plane, in a car, in the airports, at the office, anytime when they feel that they're a bit overwhelming and they have a lot of stress. So they need to first relax the body, so remove the tension on the physical level, removing the tension from the connective tissues, fascia, muscles, ligament, tendons, and have a time for themselves when they can actually just focus on the inner self, breathing, controlling the heartbeat, controlling the clarity of the brain.
How long does someone need to do this? I mean, I know we're going to do a little demonstration, but yeah, for the entrepreneur at home, for the person who's not started before, this is 10 minutes a day.
It doesn't matter. If I will answer what my teacher would say, if you do for 10 minutes, you have the benefits of 10 minutes. Sure. If you do it for 1 hour, I mean, the idea is really to make it quick. So usually I focus on 1 or 2 asanas. Asana is the term for yoga posture. But we modify it just to make it really accessible. All right, should we try?
Let's do it.
How do you feel? Do you have any pain, any injury, anything I need to be aware of, or anything you want to share with everyone?
Sound very profound. Not signed a disclaimer, have I?
Yeah, no, you did actually. No, right? All good?
Well, in all seriousness, I don't have any medical issues, but I'm permanently stiff.
Okay, very good.
Stiff, and I get a tough lower back.
This is perfect. This is what I need. All right. So you say you're wearing a jean, so it's not the best, outfit to do, but still we can. Jeggings, perfect. Can you just make a little space and lift it a little bit? I need some space on the knees. And one of the Yeah, I think it should be enough. Just have some wrinkle around the knee so you can bend. All right?
Just to be clear, everyone listening, wrinkles on my jeans. If you can not see that, not wrinkles on my face.
Yeah, it's better to have it on the gym anyway. And yoga can help with that as well. So first things, you have to keep your back straight. So just find an angle for your tailbone to sit right on the chair, very good. So you can tilt your pelvis back, posterior tilt. You can arch your lower back, erect the spine, and push the sternum forward. So you can release the diaphragm, you can release the solar plexus and keep your back straight. This is very important. By itself, this is an asana. This is a posture because we're never sitting like this. We're always sitting like this.
I'm correct.
Very good. You can lift your shoulders up a bit and down. External rotate your shoulder blades, yeah, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So have a retraction of your scapula. Bring your hands flat on your knees and keep your back straight. This is considered already a posture. See, this is the best posture to start meditation. Just from here, if you can close your eyes and just do nothing. Because what is meditation? It's to allow your mind and your body to do nothing. We're not going to go for the full set of meditation, but this is how we usually start. Hands on the knees, back straight. We're just going to breathe a couple of times. Every time we breathe, we're going to say it in the mind. I'm going to say it out loud just to help, but basically we say, I inhale, I exhale, always through the nose with back straight. I inhale, I exhale. Keep it through the nose.
Only in and out through the nose, yeah?
Very good. 100%. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Very good. Let's do just a few more. I need you to say it inside your mind. I inhale. I exhale. I inhale. I exhale. Okay, go one more. We go deeper. I inhale. I exhale. Very good. Gently open your eyes. Yeah. Very good. So this is how it starts. You can do this for 10 breaths to 20 breaths. Just tell me how you feel. We did for like, what, 3-4 times?
Very relaxed. If we did any more, we'd be cancelling the podcast.
Exactly. But you feel everything start dropping. You're grounding yourself. And why do I insist on the fact that you have to say it? So your mind will be focusing on it. Yeah, because otherwise you think, oh, I have to reply to this email, or I need to have lunch, or I need to go pick up my kid. So exactly. So the only thing is I inhale, I exhale, I inhale. It will put your mind, your soul, and your body. So the three entities that represent the human as his humanity, in one block, in one time, in the present moment. So your mind is not lost in the past or don't anticipate on the future. This is the most important. The stretch comes after. So now your mind is ready because you call your own mind inside the body, right? Now, first movement, maybe we'll do only this one, but this can be a pretty good one for a lot of different issues. Can you bring your right leg straight? Good. And now bring your left foot on top of your right knee. Perfect. Good. You see, wrinkle well enough. We're good. Now gently bring your right heel back as close as you can from the seats and keep your back straight. So do you notice what happened in your posture? You start tilting your pelvis forward and start shrinking in. So now we're going to try to fight that. You can bring your right hand on your right knee. So have a good leverage here. Now take a deep inhale and lift your chest up. More you lift, more you're going to feel the left glutes opening. Do you feel? You feel, I guess. Keep your back straight and lift. Good. This is one. What's going to happen here? We're going to open the left glutes. Medius and maximus. We're going to pull the left side of the psoas. The psoas, if you're not familiar with that, is one of the most important muscles in the body. We have 620 muscles more or less. So the psoas is basically, imagine two hands who start from your femur, going through your hip bone and hold all your lumbar spine. So every lumbar, I know you're suffering, I can see in your eyes. It's good, keep breathing. You see, all the lumbar are attached to the psoas. So what you're doing here, by lifting your rib cage, you are lengthening the psoas. So you're creating space on your abdomen. And this is where all the emotions are stored, mainly. Okay? Left elbow will start pressing the left knee down, and the back will serve the purpose of straightening the spine and lifting the chest. Ooh. Remember this breath. I inhale, I exhale. I inhale, I exhale. Good. So this is your first time, so probably it's a lot of pain. Try to bear it. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, step by step, as you start feeling more comfortable, or kind of more acceptable in this posture, you can bring your right arm over, your left arm over, and start inhaling, pushing your chest forwards. Good. Exhaling, bringing your elbow closer. Good. Now inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, lean further. Good. Inhale, lift your chest up. Strong dorsal, strong spine erectors, strong trapezius. Lift your chin up, give a direction. Good. Keep lifting the chest more. Feel your lungs, feel your heart having some space here. Exhale, lean forward. You're gonna start to sweat. It's good. It's perfect.
It's unbelievable how sweaty I am.
And you know what's this? This is the lactic acids stored inside your body finding their way out. So you're not sweating because it's warm. You're sweating because you're healing. Lift your chin higher and exhale, lean forward. So I guess this will be your limit for today. You can try to work your breath on that. But more you're gonna practice, more you're gonna be able to drop your hands on the floor and in final step, drop your head down completely and let it.
And if timing wasn't an issue, how long would you stay in this position for?
Honestly, as long as you can. There's
10 minutes, an hour?
Matt, we believe that time is an illusion. We can make time, but we can lose time. So honestly, that's up to you. If you can hold for, I would suggest at least 3 to 5 minutes. That really start to make sense. But the more you do, the more you have the benefits of it, and the easier it will be next time. It's more about consistency. But once again, this is not supposed to be a fence. If you can do it just 1 minute, I know some people, they get anxiety here because of the psoas. They start breathing, with difficulties. So 1 minute is okay. Then maybe 1.5, then maybe 2. So it's really up to you. But the most important is maybe to do it daily, or you can even do it twice a day, morning and nights, especially when you have like board of direction or appointments, very important, stressful situation to handle. Good. So we're going to release slowly. How to release? Here, lifting the chests. Good. And take it back. Good. Now slowly, before moving your foot, slide your right leg just to make a ramp, easy ramp, and slide your left foot down. Very good. Oh, we're going to do the other leg.
Oh, really?
Because even if on a podcast, I don't want you to limp.
Thought we were going to use AI for that bit.
Not yet. AI cannot help with that. Not yet. Right, let's go. Bring your right foot on top of your left knee.
So left leg goes out.
Correct.
Goes there.
You got it. Very good. So let me tell you, we did the easy side. This is typically harder.
Oh, really?
Right glute. Let's see if it's the case. No?
So this goes to
Bend your left knee. Very good. And keep your back straight. Good. And we go. Inhale. Lift your chest up. Exhale. Lean forwards. Ooh. So, we live in Dubai, and a lot of people who live in big city understand this maybe more than some other people. We are very exposed to stress, to, fast life, fast-paced, especially when you're an entrepreneur, you're always under pressure. So it's your duty as a human to give this 5 minutes a day to your body. Otherwise, don't complain if your body cannot follow. If your body gives you some, health issues that you have to take care of it. So our vision is to prevent it. 5 to 10 minutes a day to increase your performance, to increase your longevity, and to fix the problem even before they appear. See how simple is it? You can actually write emails here. It's not the idea, but if you really go for 10, 15 minutes, it's fine. You can do your things.
But would you recommend that? Because obviously you were saying if you tell yourself, I breathe in, I breathe out, because you don't want to concentrate on anything other than the relaxation and the breathing. I mean, would you recommend someone does get into writing emails?
I recommend to be adjustable. Like for example, if you need to escape completely, don't do anything and focus on your breathing. Breathing can be done with the back straight. You don't even need to do that.
I'm seeing two things here. I'm seeing the stretch is one thing, but then the mindset relaxation is another thing. And I guess yes, I can write an email with my fingers and I can get a stretch in my legs.
Definitely.
But if I close my eyes and chill, I'm going to get a double benefit, right?
I'm happy you said that. This is you perfectly right. I would even say 3 benefits and 3 different ways to do it. Either you do it more focusing on the breathing. In this case, don't use your phone. Either you associate both, so you stretch and then you breathe, and in this case you have to be focused. But if, for example, you plan to go a bit deeper, and stay for like 5-10 minutes each leg, which happened to me, sometimes I stay up to half an hour like this, then my meditation phase and my concentration phase fades away. So now I'm able to be productive, instead of just sitting on a chair and doing my email, I will sit like this. See, this is what I mean. So you can keep your back straight, breathe, engage it, and then boom, open your laptop and do your email, boom, boom, boom. So by the time your mind is busy, you will be still stretching. And it feels amazing because your knee will start dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping to the point that you finish your inhale like this, and then you release your leg, and then the legs start going all the way up and straight, and then you come back down. And then you feel very healthy.
All right. So I want to come out of this. I'm
Yes, back straight.
This one forward.
Lift your chest. Yes, very good. Unlock and lower slides. Perfect. How do you feel?
I mean, I certainly was feeling a stretch. Let me stand up.
Yes. Can you?
No, I mean, it was definitely a stretch, that's for sure.
And once again, it's a very simple thing to start. Feels good.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good. Thank you for trying, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Pleasure. But really, that's the whole point. We don't want to overload. We don't want to give too much instruction, too much things. This is very simple. You start with that, at least as a phase one, for a couple of weeks, and then you move to the next one. This will give you already a lot of benefits. I'm sure you start feeling the blood flow on your thighs, on your hip. Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah?
I feel it. I mean, that's always a super tight place with my ass around the side.
Yeah, I mean for everyone, because we have usually bilateral movement, so we walk, we run, we cycle, we don't go on the side. So we need to explore also the sides, so that's a very good tool to do it in a simple way. And then once again, either you focus completely, either you do it on while doing something else.
Let me hit you with a mad stat. You are probably not subscribed. Seriously, 58% of the people who listen to this podcast every single week do not hit that subscribe button. That is more than half of you. So let's fix this right now. The goal here is super simple. We grow the podcast, we bring in bigger guests, and we give you even more no bullshit, actionable insights to level up your business and to level up your life. Now in business, you set smart goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Well, here's one for you. Let's get that 58% down to well below 50% in the next 3 months. So please do me a quick favor. If this podcast has ever given you one good idea, one piece of advice that's helped you or helped your business, then hit that subscribe button. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it means that I can keep bringing you even bigger and better guests, giving you even bigger and better insights. Go on, do it now. I'll wait. Done? Perfect. Great choice. Let's grow this together.
Guys, Matt Haycox here, and welcome back to another episode of No Bollocks with me, Matt Haycox. And today we have got a double whammy of an episode, because normally we talk entrepreneurism or we talk health and wellness, and today we've got a man who we can do it both with, because he's not just a yoga master, he is an entrepreneur. That's why we call him the Yogipreneur. We've got Allaoua Gaham with us, who is an absolute authority in the wellness space. You may have seen that we've just been having a little stretch, a little yoga session before we did this, but now we're going to be talking not just the yoga and the well-being and the mindset and the motivation and everything that he does in life now, but digging deep into where this journey began and how he really started life as an entrepreneur, not just an entrepreneur, but a high-flying, fast-paced one, like many of you guys who listen to this. And the model broke, let's say, and it was a big wake-up call. And that's what's led us to where we are today. So, Allaoua, thanks a lot for being here, buddy. And
thank you very much for having me.
To digging deep into the story, seeing what you've got to share.
Pleasure.
Probably relating to some of your stressful moments myself, although I can't quite relate to touching my toes yet, but we can only get halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good beginning what you did today. This is how it started. And yeah, I guess all the entrepreneurs can relate to a similar journey, at least for handling the stress and regardless of the industry, when we entrepreneur, it's a long journey. So yeah.
Well, let's go back to the entrepreneurial journey that led you to where you are today. So, born in Paris.
Yeah,
French, born from Paris, moved to Dubai, where you've been here for about 20 years now, and you were. Well, you tell me your story. I won't do it for you.
Yeah, it's quite long, so I'll try to make it very fast. Yeah. So my background, it's business school. So I did 2 different business schools. I have 2 MBAs. I was working more in the luxury marketing and project management. So my main thing is project management. So how to handle resources, human resources, financial resources, to lead a team to achieve a project. So this was what I was doing basically before my yoga journey.
Back in that day, I mean, where was your fitness?
Like a Parisian, living the life of, I mean,
So not non-existent. No exercise, no running, just chocolate croissants.
yeah, that's a good question. Now, I didn't have any awareness on my health, especially when you study. See, I did my MBA in China, one in France. I got my BBA in UCI in California. So I was living the life of a student, enjoying life, try to discover, understand, and focusing on education. So sport was kind of a part of my journey, but really not mindful sport. It was like playing football in France, playing basketball here and there. My first relationship with serious awareness on health and fitness have been when I started training with the Russian Special Forces, the spetsnaz. My brother worked in the security intelligence in France, and he was always obsessed with all this, different technique, different martial art, different approach to work with like tactical units and special forces for his job. So he introduced me when I was maybe 15, 16 years old. I was a teenager. Something called Sistema, which is Russian martial arts, very ancient martial arts, maybe 10 centuries at the beginning. So it was usually practiced by the Cossack and the Bugatyr, the special soldiers. Some people even believe that Russians haven't ever been colonized because of this, knowledge that they have. It was hidden and reserved to the special forces until the fall of the USSR. The patriarch of the modern system, the founder, Mikhail Ryabko, is a nephew of one of the bodyguard of Stalin. He had like 9 bodyguards, I believe. Everyone was in charge of KGB, FSB, like different security entities. So basically, it's used by the spetsnaz because it's a very adaptable way of fighting. It's very rational, and it's used to be in hand-to-hand combat with the knife defense, gun defense. So it's a full spectrum of how to stay alive, either during a conflict, either what we use it now for, I would say, urban self-defense, when you get attacked, when someone trying to rob you off or abuse you physically and emotionally. And so living in Europe, this is something that you see a lot, especially when you had my lifestyle, going out a lot, 2, 3 a.m., I'm like outside. So you encounter, some bad guys. So this is how it's at. So the only relationship I had with fitness was this martial art that I carry on until today. Become a senior instructor, and I actually teach people. I use it a lot now to teach people how to deal with fears. Because basically the project behind it, or the idea is like, doesn't really matter how skilled you are, if you are scared, you won't be able to use any of this skill. And if someone attacks you in the street and tries to rob you, doesn't look at your belt, if you're black belt in jiu-jitsu, whatever. Yeah, you have one simple equation. He wants to hit you, and you have to deal with this immediate threat. So we start by reinforcing the mind and reinforcing the idea of, okay, if there is a conflict, you're going to be hit anyway. So you have to absorb it before it comes. And when it comes, you have to digest it as fast as you can so you can move on to save your life. So it's really a survival skill. So you want to go home safe, right? So, and then we start with the physical. So like technique based on breathing, mobility, we strike in really different ways. So the good thing with Sistema, it's adaptable to anyone. You don't have to change your body. You don't have to spend your time in the gym. You don't have to be strong. You generate power, not from your strengths, because your strengths will be limited. Only if you fight already, if you fought before. After maybe 1 minute and a half, you start feeling exhaustion, you're out of breath. It's very complicated to handle a street fight more than 2 minutes. Like any type of fight, even if you go on ring, if you're not trained. So basically, how to save your breath, how to save yourself, and how to use your movement to generate power rather than your strength. Because if your strength goes down, you still have a way to defend yourself by moving around. So I love the philosophy. I use it now to train some CEOs who work, for example, into the petroleum industry. Sometimes they have to travel, maybe in Brazil, Brasilia, South Africa. There is some country that are much different from Dubai, especially if you're based in Dubai and you feel safe in Dubai. You don't need the awareness of defending yourself. So as soon as you leave and you go back to Europe or US, some country are more challenging in terms of... so yeah, this is my only relationship I had with fitness. But in terms of health, zero.
Sure.
I was drinking soda.
So we go back. So you're in business. You had no great relationship with health and fitness of training, and you moved out here to Dubai, and you were working in the distribution business
Correct.
for beauty products.
Correct. For a French company called Gemology Cosmetics. I was sole distributor for 6 years here, about 12 countries. It was a challenge because I'd been graduated. I came to the UAE. I didn't know anyone, start from scratch. It was very hard, honestly. Like the 2 first years, every day I was thinking to leave. But every day you're like, okay, I'm gonna just push it a little further. Okay, and just push one more day, one more day, one more day, and then it's turned to months, and then turned to 6 months, and then a year. And after, hard time and patience and consistency, this is when things start moving. And had my first contract after 3 years, and it really changed everything. If I didn't have this, I would have not, be able to stay. It was quite organic, basically, but a lot of learning. We only learn when it's hard, when it's painful. I don't think anyone can recall any learning in a comfortable zone, because when you have comfort, you enjoy, you don't learn. But when things become hard, then you have to teach yourself, and you have to find solutions. So this was my 2 first years here as a young entrepreneur, freshly graduated in the industry that I had no much idea about it, convincing the principal that I can do it. I didn't know I could do it. I did it, so I'm very happy now.
And next was your own business, right?
Correct.
What took you to your own business? Had you always had that, I guess, entrepreneurial desire within you? I mean, I know you obviously referred to yourself as entrepreneurial before when you were with the other company, but did you always want to strike out on your own?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Basically, the beauty industry was not necessarily my passion. I just answered to an opportunity just to come here and be one of the pioneers in this industry here. So after 6 years, I managed to get the goal and beyond what I was aiming to. And I sold my company, I sold my solo rights. And with this money, I opened what I really like, which is the fashion industry. So I become a self-taught fashion designer. And I create one of the first kids' clothes company here in the UAE. And it wasn't really good. Too good sometimes when you're overwhelmed by, the thing is what I've learned there, I've learned that it's hard for me to delegate, I guess like many entrepreneurs, because when you're hands-on, you want everything to be perfect. So that when you start selling product, you want the product to be sellable, not necessarily to be perfect. So you have this relationship between what you want and the reality of the business, then dealing with the supply chain, then dealing with the after sale. The after sales is quite complicated when you're in, close distribution. Branding. So branding, everything we were doing good, honestly. We were on the first working with influencers back in the days, And now it was very successful.
And I mean, could give us an idea of scale for you back then. So we know where you were before. I guess before disaster struck. I mean, you had 27 stores or 27 outlets.
Yeah, we had.
So over what kind of stuff?
Yeah, we had close to 40 point of sales in Dubai, 37, 38, and we were a company of 52 people in GLT. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. The only thing is why did I decided to start, not just before of the health issue, but why it came to that. I created a company on the vision of I want to design. So it was more a creative impulsion, aspiration. And it didn't last. After 2 years, I was more on the admin side, dealing with the visa of the employees, dealing with, once again, the supply chain, the after sales. So I would start procrastinating, and then on my desk, the problem was start accumulating, and once again, we were doing quite good money, so I was quite successful. So I will also enjoy my life in Dubai, being a young entrepreneur here. So I was going out a lot. Dubai give you opportunity to actually, have a good network. So I was partying a lot. My health focus was really terrible. I was smoking, I was partying a lot, sleeping not, that much. But at the end of the day, I was doing that because I put myself into problem-solving business rather than expanding the collection or creating or trying to do something that really was the beginning of my aspiration. And I guess this is what flipped. I was kind of running away from what I had to do. and physically my body don't take it, and because of the crazy lifestyle as well. So yeah, I had a heart attack when I was. It was not technically a heart attack. It was a pre-conditioned heart attack. I stayed in ICU for 6 days, be waiting for my heart to stop. You know, I was like between 120, 140 beats per minute, laying down.
Well, just to set the scene, what is normal?
It's between 70 and 80.
Okay, so your heart's racing.
Yeah,
So
I
what,
was
for
racing.
6 days?
Yeah. Not for 6 days, but 3 days at the peak of the crisis. Like it happened in the morning. The first thing I was doing was to actually light a cigarette. was not the best thing. So just to give you an idea how not health aware I was, and I started feeling my heart. I was not feeling very good a few days before, but heart was playing weird. I was laying down on my bed and I could feel the explosion going, left arm started to be numb. I could feel like my level of energy went down. I called the ambulance. My electrocardiogram was going upside down, very unstable, so immediately put me like in beta blockade and aspirin. So they watched me for a few days and they didn't understand really what's happening. It was a mix of things, I guess. I was also, back in the days, going to the gym, but not in a healthy way. I was taking a lot of protein with creatine, mixing maybe with some energy drinks. It was like all the red flags. All the red flags you can do for 2 years lead to this. What I thought it was a curse, but it ended up to be the best thing that happened to me, because it's forced me somehow to take the decision that I had to. That means to step back and try to understand my purpose, who I am, what I'm doing here, what I want to do with my life. Is it a success to make money, or is it success to actually start developing yourself, developing your life? I was not married, I had no kids. It's very complicated.
Most business advice, it's motivational fluff. It's empty promises and it's untested ideas by people who have never even tried to apply them. It's bollocks, but you're not going to get that here. And that is why I call it No Bollocks. The No Bollocks newsletter is straight talking, high impact, zero time wasting, tried, tested, and immediately actionable. 2 emails a week, insider strategies, brutally honest insights, and the answers to the questions that you're asking, or you should be asking. And the best part, you're going to learn more in 10 minutes than most people learn in a 3-year MBA. Over 20,000 people a week are already in. So don't be the one that's missing out. Hit the link in the show notes, because you just need one email that could be the one that changes everything.
So, I mean, when you're in the hospital,
Yeah.
just give us a bit more, say, context around what happened. I mean, did you just wake up one day feeling a pain in the chest? Did you collapse? What happened?
At the hospital, I was under the watch.
So why did you end up in the hospital?
Yeah, this is what's happened. I woke up in the morning and I felt, I immediately called the ambulance. Something went wrong. Yeah, I couldn't even stand up. And you know what was the two funny things is, like, I couldn't smoke my cigarette. I think it was the real things that tell me, oh, there's something really, really wrong. Can't even smoke, I was like, so that means I was so not aware, I couldn't even feel what's going on inside, but I could say, okay, it's something that I used to do, I like to do, I cannot do it. Definitely something wrong, So yeah. And yeah, this is how it went to bad to worse until I was really well handled here. And I really felt like, what actually freaked me out. I don't think I told that to any podcast or any interviews. It was very, very, very weird. When I was in ICU, one doctor came. She opened the door and said, we suggest me you smoke, basically. I told her, yes. And she said, yeah, I think you should stop. So why? Because she was referring to one of the X-ray of the lungs, and I started to freak out. What, do you see anything from me? I think it's better to stop. Funny is, like, I asked all the other, doctors who was with this lady, and they couldn't tell me who was she. So I don't know, it was like, a divine
There's an angel.
I know. And from this day, October 2016, I decided to smoke. I was quite a heavy smoker, so I really freak out,
But you put it down. You never touched again.
Never ever. So I don't know. Maybe it's what we need, You need to feel that you can actually die, or you can actually go into a non-return situation. you know.
And when you say you need to fill your diet, was there moments when you were in the hospital that you thought, I mean, did you think you were going to die, or it was?
And the sad part, I was ready. I was ready in the sense that
Why?
no, it's lots going on in your mind. I can't recall exactly, but my main feeling was like, maybe I don't deserve to live anymore, because I didn't take care of my body somehow. That's why it was a deep reset. When I was like, you may promise to yourself, you may promise to God, to whoever you believe in, like, okay, if I get away with that, I'm gonna change everything. So this was the thing. So I definitely thought, and let me tell you something, it's even worse than thinking that you're gonna die. It's thinking that you're gonna live with conditions.
Yes.
You see, that was the main thing that was obsessed with. Like, okay, even if I make it, what I'm gonna do now? Can I eat what I want? Do I need to take pills for the rest of my life? Do I need to spend, time like at the hospital to check? This was obsessing me. And I guess this is how I started yoga. To find a way to return into fitness, but in a very easy, smooth way. I mean, I thought so, it wasn't that easy. But yeah, this was the change. The big change was this, like, will I be able to live a normal life again? And if yes, what I have to start now, what I have to put in place so I can actually, live a normal life. And this one that I can.
And you came out of that hospital, and you sold your business soon after. So you were lying in a hospital bed, thinking I better change, or you already have plans, you say, to sell anyway.
No, it came organically. Once again, in the hospital bed, I was like, I was trying to survive, basically, trying to understand why I'm here. Then when everything started to stabilize, I was on the treatment. I went back to my house, big house, back in the days, on the palm. I was living very comfortable lifestyle, but it's even worse when you're alone. Yeah, because I didn't have my family, I didn't have girlfriend, I didn't have, and the friends that you have during the night are not the friends that take care of you during the day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you're actually alone, really. And this was the hardest thing to realize it, because you kind of know it, but you realize because you're actually alone. Like, even it mightn't see, but my room was upstairs, so just to go down to get something, from the kitchen, I needed to have like maid full time and keep on. So it was like the type of thing you feel like something's wrong. You can't even. I figured out I was living on a palm. I had my beach, I'd never use it. Never use it. Like, only when I was recovering, I went down the stairs and I started walking. And even when I was walking a little fast, when my heart started beating a little higher, I started to freak out. Oh, maybe it's come again. I had like a couple of months of doubts, And it's during this months that, I decided I should move on. And how to move on? I had a very close relationship with my employees, especially my managers. They were friends a lot. A lot of them, I brought them from Paris. I had Chloé Robin, she was the number 2 for Christian Lacroix. She was working for Louis Vuitton before, so I convinced them to come here in Dubai and to jump on the project with me. So I felt that I have to, do it smoothly. I cannot just close the company. So yeah, it took a year, more or less, I was helping whoever from my staff that I can replace through friends and network. And like, you reduce everything, slowly. You reduce the production, you sell the stock, step by step, and you switch off the company slowly. I didn't want to break any routine. So, matter of fact, because the sales are going down, because you don't do any effort to sales, but you still have to keep your overhead. So I literally pay from my own money the last 6 months of the company, including salaries, everything. But it was okay. It was also parts of me to change. I felt like I did the metamorphosis, like when a snake changes skin, or when the cocoon become butterfly, So I really felt that this was also part of the game, and to restart something new from that. So it took about a year, information.
And once that business had stopped, did you know what was coming next? Had you decided at that point that you were going to move into this wellness life?
Absolutely not. I met someone who became my wife, and Anna, and she's the one who introduced me to yoga. And step by step, I started doing it. I did it for my health at the beginning. That I took it as a challenge, because I used to train with people, fighting, and I cannot even hold a plank yoga plank for more than a few seconds. So it was a real reconstructions. And I never, and even today, I still don't understand how I'm in this business because it was my calling. Now I believe so. I can see that. Back in the days, it was not fitting with my belief, with my lifestyle, with my ambition. I had a lot of ambition. I mean, you know, when you did what I did, when you come to a new country and you build a successful business, it's very hard to see yourself. It's basically you go for paying yourself 100,000 dirham a month, not mentioning, you know, the like bonuses and sales, to 100 dirham a class when you start as a young, not experienced teacher. So my first few classes, it was horrible. I was with two older lady, trying to teach them something that I freshly learned. I didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be there. It's like really complicated the first few months. And you know, it's your true calling because I ended up being a better teacher than a yogi. So my practice was very bad for at least 3 years. I really struggled. I didn't have the flexibility, plus I was recovering, but I kind of was understanding some things and be able to teach people.
How are you able to teach when your own practice wasn't that good?
If you understand the concepts, especially like if you understand the breathing, if you understand the position, if the ankle is like this, well, for example, like in Virabhadrasana, in Warrior 1, you should be in 45 degree, you know, in Warrior 2, you should be 90 degrees. So in yoga, there's a big technical aspect linked to the anatomy, and I'm passionate by the human body. Like, it's really one of them. And I even thought to become a physiotherapist after that, you know. But yoga was answering all this like taste of understanding the human, because it's not just the biomechanical, it's also the movement, it's also the metabolic, the endocrine system, so how you can actually improve your health, not just your body. So I guess I came from 2 MBA, so I was kind of used to learn fast and in depth, yeah. So when I did my teacher training, I was with different profiles. Those people was actually great yogis, but some of them were not necessarily into, you know, like reading the philosophy and try to understand. So all the book that we had, I digested in like a week, you know. So I could remember pretty much everything, to the point that even the teacher told me, man, this is not very common, you know. So the Sanskrit, I started speaking Sanskrit, understand the position, the asanas, the effects. So I was more into the intellectual side of yoga rather than the practice. My practice was very bad because it needs time. Simply, you cannot like in 1 year become like yogi. It's it must took 10 years for me, you know.
And the lady that became your wife, she was a yoga practitioner or a yoga teacher, or
Yeah, that's a good question, man, because she was actually practicing for 10 years, but she never really had the opportunity to do the teacher training. So I had some savings, you know, so I was planning to live about a year just to give me some time to understand what I'm doing. So I took her to Miami. So why Miami? Yeah. Because I thought she was learning yoga and I was enjoying Miami for a month because usually, but I found a very strict yoga teacher. He told me, man, if you stay in my ashram, you have to do yoga. I told him, man, I cannot touch my knee. This is my level of flexibility. You're gonna struggle. So yeah, you're here, you do it. So that's why I stayed. At the beginning, I didn't want to become a yoga teacher, not at all. I didn't even want to do yoga. I wanted to chill on the beach, you know, and rest. But because, you know, I wanted to stay with her, and I said, okay, let's try the journey. And 3 first days, I was about to go back to Dubai. Really, it was like horrible. Man, you wake up at 4:30 to meditate. At 4:30, I go to sleep. You know? So it was really a big switch, you know. I love meats, especially back in the days, now less, but you know, it was a vegan ashram, juicing, so no solid food. I mean, it was really hard. For me, it was like a military camp, you know, basically. And doing 3 hours of yoga in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, plus reading the Bhagavad Gita and all the philosophy, the anatomy. It was not at all what I expected and what I wanted to do. But I did it, and I liked the teaching side was really something that struck me. So my wife became a teacher, and after a few years, I became her teacher. And I pushed my education in yoga to become a master instructor. So now I certify instructors. So I teach to teachers since a couple of years now.
and how did this develop into what you deal with now with the entrepreneurs, the CEOs, and I guess you're dealing with high level people who have got stresses that they probably don't even want to acknowledge. And just, I guess, to add to that more, I would imagine many of the people that you teach yoga to now They're not just people who don't know yoga. They're really people like myself who want to fight the fact that we even need it. You know, it's like, oh, that's for girls. That's not for busy people. For real men.
That's a very good question, man. Thing is, I actually filled an empty space, right? Usually the profile of yogis, they're passionate into yoga, they do ashram after ashram training in Bali, in India, so they are into the spiritual side. At some point, they cannot talk to normal people. And I am a normal people. I am a normal man who's struggling to yoga, that has a past of an entrepreneur, a businessman. So there's a lot of bridge I can, understand people. So I've been there. I struggle. I don't judge probably. Like honestly, I've been attending to some of the yoga instructor. They're a bit arrogant. When you reach a certain level of flexibility, it's very hard to look down at people who cannot do that. So you cannot understand why they cannot do that. And you don't want to understand because you're more attracted by growing, and you feel like you want to deal with people who actually can also teach you things by their own practice and stuff like that. Me, it was the opposite. I said, okay, yoga pretty much saved my life. It helped me to see clarity, it gave me a purpose, and I was not designed for that, and I was not predestinated for that. So I can talk to people who are in the same case. That means who hate yoga, who doesn't want to do it, who feel they don't need it, but guess what? They're actually the one who need it the most. The one who already doing yoga or Pilates or running, yoga will be a top-up. Something that will bring, equilibrium to the life. But people who are dealing with stress, dealing with physical tension, dealing with the life of others, entrepreneurs, the main thing, you are a leader, so you deal with every of your decision can have a consequence on your life and the life of your family and the life of your employees and so they are the people who need meditation, breathwork, clarity, stretch, and healing, because they are the people who go to burnouts. They're the people who go to depression. The people who do yoga even once a week, they usually don't go to depression.
Do you find these people coming to you? Have they acknowledged at this point that there's an issue and they want help, or how do you get your message out to them?
Matt, your question are very good, man. That's very cool. No one wants to admit that something's wrong, and either we don't want to see it, either we just simply don't see it. I usually go, especially I'm working with locals here. Arabs are very proud. It's very hard for them to admit that something wrong or they're into depression. So I tell them, look, even superheroes are depressed. Look at Batman. He's always depressed. I mean, he saves the world. It's absolutely normal. So first we work on the idea of being depressed, being anxious. It's not a weakness. This is the things that everything starts. I'm a strong man. I fight. I teach people how to survive. I mean, I'm not weak, I've been through depression like everyone, Depression, it's vulnerability. That means first it's temporary, so it would not last, especially if you do that. And it's not like a disease, basically, it's a stage that can be improved. The real weakness will be not to deal with that. The real strength will be to accept your vulnerability and to walk accordingly. So this is where it starts. And for me, the easiest way to bring to this conclusion, or to have someone come to this conclusion, because it needs to come from the person, is to put them on the mat and to start with the stretch. What we just did. We did it on the chair. This will make a couple of things. First, it will show you, as an indicator, your real fitness level. And usually it's not good. Second, it will give you a timeout of your routine, which is very important. It's like an island into the storm, right? Second, it will start improving immediately your physical. So your metabolism will improve. That means your endocrine system, the hormones will start being regulated. So you're gonna reduce the melatonin from the pineal gland in the brain. So you have more clarity, more awareness, you feel happier because you have the dopamine, the endorphin kicking. So it has an immediate result on the spot. It's not something that you can convince, you don't feel very good, you do that, you feel better. No, you're gonna feel it. So this is my approach. I put people on a mat, whatever they want to learn handstand or they want to do meditation, whatever, we start with stretching. It gives me indication on the way they breathe, the way they control their mind, the way they tolerate pain. Because a lot of people, they think they tolerate pain, but when pain comes, you actually see what is the level of control, and also the level of surrender, which is the main thing. So when the pain comes, then you learn how to let go. This will take maybe 5 to 10 sessions. Sometimes I can, see it in 1 or 2 sessions. It can be also longer. Then this will smoothly put the ideas, okay, I don't feel that well, I need to improve. And this is a very easy way and simple way to improve. And then the journey starts. And from that, other concern will emerge. Business, family, It's like any coach, you become a part of the family somehow, you become one of very close friends. It's even beyond friendship somehow. It's a new space. You create a new space because you keep distance with your client, but at the same time you know more about them that they actually know, and you know a lot about their life. Especially, I'm working with CEOs, so there's a lot of confidentiality. There's a lot of So we build a relation of trust. So this is how things make difference.
What does depression mean to you? I think it's a word that's very overused today. I mean, and how much of it, I guess, how much of it is really really ingrained, and how much of it is just Instagram and telling you, oh, you're not depressed, you're having a bad day, you're not anxious, you've just been sniffing gear all weekend and you're on a come down. What does real depression look like to you?
Matthew, a very, very good question. Honestly, I never thought of it. I would say I would dissociate it into two things: the emotional pressure and the physical pressure, which is maybe an ultimate state. I think the emotional pressure will be if you refuse to handle your emotions, so your body will start to accumulate tensions, stress. The stress can be actually physical, and it will explode at some point. So the pressure that you build needs to be released. I would say either you release it homeopathically, that means every day a little, by breathing, by stretching, by walking, by trying to, find clarity and just give an escape for your mind, either you don't, and then it will build until it explodes. Because what is depression or burnout? It's when the pressure, it's too much to handle. Jeff Bezos said in a podcast that stress comes when you don't deal with something. And I think it's very true. Because if you don't want to have stress in your life, you have to deal with things before it becomes a problem. The more you procrastinate, the more it will turn into a problem eventually.
And I guess in the context of business, we can be talking about having uncomfortable conversations. That's not just the context of business. As we talk about having uncomfortable conversations, whether that's dealing with stand problems, dealing with issues with
This is major.
wives, kids, whatever that may be, just letting little things go unchecked.
Yeah, and this is what builds, and this is what makes pressure. So what I usually work on with my students, it's very simple. Anything that comes to your life, you have two ways to deal with that. Either you respond to it, either you react. I mean, there's a third way, which is both. You can actually react and respond. Right? Reaction will be the emotional reaction that you give to that. For example, let's take an example, you're talking to someone, you feel the pressure rising, the anger starts going, so what are you going to do next? But no, don't talk to me like that, being very mean, maybe going almost to the physical. This is very easy to go there, right? This will not bring anything. It will not even make you happy. Can you recall any decision that you took in your life out of anger that you are proud of?
No.
So why? Never take decision under anger. Never. So don't react. React is a trap. You're going into darkness, really. So how to do that? Just don't do any reaction or any decision when your head is hot. Just give some time. And that's why breathwork and meditation, right away, this is how it allowed you to step back like an helicopter in a battlefield. Helicopter is the best asset. Can be down, helping infantries, and you can look up and give strategic, position to the generals, right? So do like an helicopter. If you want to say something at this moment, I don't think it will be something that will help. So don't say it. Do something that allowed you to go. You can go scream in the car. My wife, her technique, she goes to the car, she plays the music very loud, and she scream and sing, and after it's good. Me, it's my breathing. I usually try to isolate. I accumulate. I try not to react on this. Try to keep cool head. Then I isolate myself, and a few minutes after, I have better clarity.
Do you just, in all seriousness, do you find that solves all your problems now that you're in that yoga mindset space, or would you ever, want to walk away and stand in a room on your own and scream and smash a few bottles on the
Yep,
floor?
it could happen. Could happen sometime when the pressure is a lot. But honestly, on almost of the time, I can deal with it. I can see. This is why I feel it's about to explode, and I don't even let it go too big. And I'm trying to respond immediately. That means if I don't know, this fall down, there's water everywhere. What you can say? Oh no! Oh, what is this? Then you can start blaming people. It's you. You push it. You drop it. I mean, you can. There's many type of reaction going from the frustration, the stress, the anger, the pissing off, and it will not, improve a relationship. If I blame on you, then you'll be frustrated. It's not necessarily your fault, but it's no big deal. So we start having communication issues. So something as silly as that can create a big war. Really, it can be the beginning of something, especially if both parties are just, keep on adding things on top of things, right? Now, this is fall down, okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's your fault, my fault, his fault. Doesn't matter. There's a fact. It's down. Now you have to respond to it. How do you respond to it? First thing, you remove the piece of glasses. Second thing, you wipe the water. Third thing, you throw this on the garbage. End of the day, nothing is happening. All good. We stay friends. We lost a glass of water. We lost it anyway. So this is very simple example, but this is how I try to react myself, to respond to things with very cool distance reaction. And this is what I teach people. And the thing is, when you talk with your student and you start being aware about what they're going through, you also feel involved emotionally. So you want to teach them not to be emotionally involved as well. So this is something that anyone can do. And look at the older people, they usually don't react. It's not because they're tired, it's just because they have wisdom. Wisdom will make you respond faster and react less. When kids is the opposite. They panic, they scream because they don't have any answer to this. They don't know how to fix it, but they're just gonna react and cry. And when they don't know what to do, they cry even more, they're gonna blame. And so you decide if you wanna be a kid or if you wanna be a wise, monk or someone who actually has, it's up to your every single daily decision. Even I would say we're taking, I don't know, I think guys say we take 2,000 decisions per day. Your life will be the accumulation of the consequences of all your decisions. You take good decision, there's positive consequences. Decisions are bad, negative consequences. You still can fix. So then you have to take another decision from the part of fixing this, right? Taking those decisions with clear mind, I think is very important for your quality of life and the quality of your health as well.
I mean, I assume you know young yogis and old yogis. So just go with what you were talking about then, that that ability to respond comes with age, comes with wisdom. Even though you may have two, let's say, identically trained yogis, in terms of skill set, flexibility, knowledge, etc. In personal lives, do you still see a material difference between the young yogi and the old yogi because they haven't developed that level of wisdom?
To be honest, I don't think it's age from the passports. It's age of the mind. It's how some people will definitely get more maturity earlier than some other people. I mean, I see some 50s, 60s people behaving like kids, really have zero self-control, reacting in a very, extreme way. And we believe whatever is extreme is irrelevant. So it's very hard to respond. And I see some kids, actually young yogis, or not having the maturity not to react too much. It has to do with the culture as well. Maybe some Nordic culture are a little bit more chill with that. Like Russian, they don't react too much. Swedish, maybe they have more distance. I don't know. I think there's many aspects, cultural but age is just like a referral. But I would say the age of the mind, the maturity of the mind, rather than the age of the passport.
Talk to me about breath work and the power of breathing. Now, I know nothing about it, but the story I have to set the scene that always fascinates me is a couple of years ago I was doing a Wim Hof training day, and it was kind of a morning of breath work and an afternoon of ice baths. We arrived in the morning, and the first thing they do is to send us off to the bathroom to peel a stick to do a little pH test. And we're supposed to do that before the breath work. I had a big night the night before. A lot of spicy food, a lot of wine.
Very acidic.
It was very, very red, and I forget the exact pH number, but it was pH.
Yeah.
So I do that, lie down, we do the breath work. It wasn't a long breath work, it was maybe 20 minutes. Just
Yeah, I know the method now.
lie
Open
down,
mouth and
slow,
down, 3 sets.
breathe, close your eyes, relax and trust. I actually pretty much fell asleep during as well. I mean, whether that was a breath work or the fact that I had 2 hours sleep, I don't know. But it was very relaxing. 20 minutes of the breath work, go back to the bathroom, peel another stick, and I've moved from acidic to, well, so I forget exactly where, but it was certainly less acidic.
Purple, more alkaline.
Potentially even more alkaline. How the fuck did that happen in 20 minutes of breathing?
Good questions. Again. Well, breathing is everything. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, if you stop breathing, you die. So I want you to keep this in mind. This is very important. So improving your breath will improving your health, improving your life in general. Right? So it has to do with the saturation. Saturation is the level of oxygen that you have in your cells. It needs to be around 99. Remember during COVID, one of the first tests to check if you had COVID, they put your fingers, and to check if you are below 95, they took you to the hospital right away because saturation is very low. 99, like below 95% of oxygen in the blood is not very good. It needs to be 99 basically. So what you're doing in this phase of over inhaling, you increase the level of oxygen into your cells. So increasing the level of oxygen will have a lot of effect. For this particular effect, it will reduce the acidity as it will start fighting the free radicals and act as, when you take berries, you have the antioxidant, sorry. So it's an antioxidant. So the more you increase the oxidant, the lower you drop the oxidation of your cells. And something called the oxidative stress, this is what's destroy all your cells. So your cells are basically formed with a membrane, plasma, and a nucleus. So all over you have some free radical that can be fight by breathing. See, if you watch all these podcasts from all these biohackers, Joe Rogan received a lot. They will explain cancer develop into an acidic.
I was going to. You took my words, but I was going to say my understanding was that cancer, disease, etc., can only live within an acidic setup.
It starts on the acidic setup and live with the sugar that you give on the form of fruits, fructose or alcohol or industrial sugar. This will help any cells, degenerative cells or cancer cells, to multiply. So, but just by exposing yourself to oxygen and going to the mountain and breathing pure oxygen, or accelerating your breath, this is the technique of the Wim Hof, will reduce, all the acidity into the body by increasing the saturation and by dropping the oxidation.
Is it possible to keep the body acidity, or say the body pH, always non-acidic?
I think it's quite challenging. It's possible. There is some phases. For example,
if it was possible, would that therefore to say that you have a body that it is impossible to create disease in?
I'm not a doctor, but to my understanding, I would say yes. It will be unless if it's genetic or epigenetic, which turns to another type of cell disorder. But I would say you definitely have less chance to get this type of diseases if your body is alkaline. Now, can you keep your body alkaline all the time? I think you can avoid. Between neutral and alkaline, okay, it should be okay, but you can avoid to have it acidic or too acidic. It's very simple. Breathe more, work more. Fasting is very good, intermittent fasting, because digestion will take a lot of energy, and energy also, get all your cells makes your metabolism work too much, Stretching is very good. Walking, eating quality food, drinking a lot of water. It's very basic. So all the organs has the same function. They need oxygen, they need to breathe basically, and they need hydration. So if you provide them with air and water, already you're halfway there. The problem is everything that we do, breathing in the AC, going out, sleeping late, this is a small things that will, pile, and then will start breaking the virtuous circle of, keeping your body. I don't know if it's possible to keep your body always like. I guess some people manage that, pretty much with supplement and a lot of. But at the same time, look, if you spend your life trying to be too much healthy, it's also cause of stress. Especially if you run, if you push yourself, you create oxidative stress as well. So that's why yoga, it's a good alternative to that, because you still do your stretching, you still do your cardio, you still do your breath work, you still do your meditation, in just an hour without excess, and still kind of, regulating. Look at the yogis. Usually they live over 100 years old. One of my teachers is 107. All the big yogis, they pass at, over 100.
He's 107.
Indian guy.
How
He's very, it's hard to believe he's over 100. Really, yeah. It's, but he's vegan, he's always, he's eating vegetables, mainly, a lot of nuts, a lot of dry stuff, doesn't drink, doesn't eat sugar, for lifetime.
Mobility's good.
Mobility is very good, impressive. Still doing crow, still doing, a lot of different asanas. That's very impressive, yeah. Maybe genetic, but see, I would say, I was talking with one of my students, which is actually a doctor, and she's into the pharmaceutical industry. And she believed that everything comes from the lifestyle. Like, even genetically, something called epigenetic, when you can actually trigger the protein sequence in the DNA, or don't trigger them. So even if genetically you're supposed to have diabetes or this and that, you can actually, by your lifestyle, go against that, right? So he probably did by his things. But honestly, I don't want to have this life. This is what I was saying when I said I'm a normal man, normal father. I have 2 kids, I'm a normal husband. I like my friends, I like to party. His life is a bit different. He's not married, he's in Acidity, he's into like fasting a lot, he meditates like hours per day. It's like a monk, it's a lifestyle. So yoga becomes so
107, I won't be fast. I got fucking 7 minutes to live, get me a kebab.
So that's where you want to put the cursor. Like, do you want to have the life that you want to live? So I think...
So tell me about that then, because I guess I probably didn't appreciate that with you so much now, because I guess, you'd improved that lifestyle from your naughty day before. I mean, how much alcohol do you drink? How much bad food do you eat? Do the kids eat sweets? What does life look like in the yogipreneur home?
I believe in one thing, it's balance. As simple as it is. I think you cannot live a feel-food life with like excess, like either negative or positive. Even if you fast and you eat only nuts and I think there's something going to be missing into your life. I mean, in my life anyway. On the other hand, if you eat only fast food and sugar and drink, when things happen to you, then don't be surprised, because you don't do anything to help that. So yeah, I think it's bad. So me personally, no, I don't drink.
As in you teetotal?
Yeah, because first thing when I started doing yoga into a quite regular, I was doing a few hours a day, especially when I was training myself, the body rejects all type of, it's very hard to eat junk food. Like, last time I ate, I don't want to mention brand, but this famous brand of burger, I had immediate toilet like diarrhea. My body literally didn't take it. Well, and I was the first surprise.
I think you better not mention the brand.
But it's the reality, and I can feel. So, but on the other hand, yeah, I have some excess. I still eat meat sometimes when I enjoy it. I just want to do things with purpose, right? Even wine, when I give myself a glass of wine, it needs to be a good wine.
Oh, so you will still drink some wine?
I haven't since a while, but yeah, I'm not putting this as a forbidden thing.
I thought you were about to have to give up your French passport.
I thought about it, even with cheese and everything. But yeah, no, basically, the point is that I don't do it also because next day I take a week to recover, literally, really. And I just turned 40, so I guess my metabolism will not like that. I don't put any fence, basically. I just go with the flow. If I fancy something, I just do it because I also value the mental health approach. If you stop yourself too much on something that you're craving, I don't think it's really good. Yeah, but you have to do it. It needs to be a cheat day. Needs to be a cheat day. A cheat life.
Yeah.
So yeah. But my advice for everyone is to know your limits, to know what's gonna hurt you, and to find balance in all, in relationship, in food, in your own relationship with yourself, in relationship with sports. I know some people they excessively train, so they get injuries, and everything, in medio stat virtus. It's a Latin quote who say the virtues stand in the middle. And I really live by that, I try not to be excessive, either in my reaction, either in my, things. So I always step back a bit. I enjoy yachting, for example. I'm a captain, so this is my yoga now, for example. Yoga doesn't bring me the same peace of mind if I compare to when I take a boat and I go sitting. When I go out of the land, all my problems or concerns, they stay there. So I'm alone. So I'm a member of Captain Club. So, I mean, I still have hobbies and lifestyle who's not necessarily fits with the image that you have of a yogi, but I'm at heart and at behavior deeply embracing yoga, but with my understanding. And same with religion, same with everything. I always do things that I understand that make sense. As soon as it doesn't really make sense, I put a pause on that. I'm trying to reflex. Yeah.
So what does the business model look like for you now, and how do you, I guess, how do you monetize this for your life? And the opposite side of that is how does this look for my audience listening now who want to come and work with you and interact with you in some way? Because I'm sure, as I genuinely have found, let's say, much more interest in listening to this than the usual yoga conversations that get pushed. And maybe it's because you're a man, maybe it's because you feel.
And like you, yeah, this is the thing. This is.
I mean, ultimately, I always say that about any kind of learning, that the lessons and the cells, they're all very similar. Of course, whatever whether it's sales, finance, marketing, whatever, 95% of the core content is the same.
Definitely.
Who do you are listening to it from? Exactly. An aggressive American, a gentle English lady, who do you relate to? And whilst I've heard a lot about yoga myself over the years, I've probably looked at it differently in the last hour or so, having heard it told in your way. So how do people work with you, and how do you make your money now?
Okay, there's many questions on this. So first, what you say is perfectly right. It's not about the thing, it's about how you do the thing. It's not that yoga is how you practice yoga. You need a mentor, you need a teacher, you need to reflect with someone. And it has to do with vibration and character. If you click with someone, you will be able to go to his class and train with the person. If you don't click, even if the person has the best thing to offer, it won't go in. So this has to be matchy. What works with me well is athletes, CEOs, entrepreneurs, once again, because I came from this, I understand maybe better the challenges, and I'm not an extremist into yoga as well. Some people will actually just go buy the book and try to force people to do something. So I'm trying as much as possible to listen, to share and see how we can share this journey together. Now, if people are interested, I do one-to-one, only private sessions. I do corporate as well. I help a lot of companies. I work with Google, with Johnson. I work with like Enkel, Schwarzkopf. I work a lot with the Sports Council, RTA. So I had different industry, and in every industry you find a benefit, like literally. People feel happier, and this is one of the main benefits. Either if you work with the staff. I also organize retreats. I usually do it once a year in the Maldives with top Cs. We go and we spend 4 days to a week together. It will really depend of the size of the companies, like 5 to 10 people, and then we take everything from the beginning, from the nutrition to the self-defense, to the breathing, to the performance mindset, to the yoga. Yoga will be just an agglomerator, but things that brings us together. But it's amazing, and I love that. Because you get to know people, you get to, now how I make money with yoga, it's not easy because I think I'm one of the wealthiest yoga teacher, I would say, because I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm a yogi-preneur. I'm an entrepreneur yoga, so I monetize my knowledge, my network. I have different verticals. I do consulting. I design programs. So it's beyond just doing
programs and consulting in wellness.
Exactly, wellness. It can be also in marketing for companies who actually have some well-being program. Because I was managing a couple of studios. I work as a special advisor for Bridge, who has a portfolio of wellness. So my background, don't forget, it's project management and marketing. So, and I was good at that. So anything has to do with like a developer who wants to give a more well-being approach to the project, they can reach out to me. I can help them how to make it not just greenwashing, but something that actually has a real purpose with a sustainability vision. And this is one of the vertical, the consulting. Training is one of the verticals. Endorsements, because I think I was one of the first well-being influencer. I don't really like these terms, but I have quite a big following. I broke a Guinness World Record. So I like to bring, this is the beginning of it. I like to bring yoga where yoga doesn't go. So for me, doing yoga entertainment is very important. So I like to be on stage with thousands of people. I did over 12,000 people, a couple of times. One in Expo with Mind Valley. I broke Guinness World Records practicing yoga with like more than 10,000 people. So you give access to people, and maybe you will get a sparkle in the day that will be the beginning of the journey. This is really the mission that I felt. So by doing all this huge activation, I have a strong following. So I work with brands as a brand ambassador, doing some endorsement. I was brand ambassador for Lululemon for like 4 years. So this is the vertical that I have. So I have the mind of an entrepreneur, so I cannot help it otherwise. Just trying to see where I'm useful to people, where my expertise has value, how I can add value to any project, and one-to-one, how I can individually help people to overcome any type of challenge, physical, emotional. So this is how things move. And once again, it's been moving organically to that. I do a lot of motivational talks as well in the company or as events. I did like my TEDx a few years ago. So it's basically wherever I can be useful. I don't put, again, any fence, trying to explore. And this is, maybe I can finish with that. This is what was the real switch before. Before I was seeing everything as a performance. See, when you do a business school and entrepreneur, you have to perform now. Now I see everything as an explorations. So I don't know where I'm going, but I'm exploring. The main difference, performance will create expectations. If you don't reach your expectation, not reaching your expectation will create failure, and then you have to deal with the failure. So it will disappoint you. Disappointment will create sadness. Ultimately, sadness can put you in depression. When you explore, you're free. You don't have any expectation. So whatever comes, it's great. See, you expect 100, you get 99. 99 means 99 is almost 100. You will be focused on the one you don't get. You expect 0, you get 0.1, you more than happy. So I switched there. So my expectation now is none. I focus on exploring a new project, new people, new understanding of myself, new path. Maybe in 3 years I will be away from yoga. If you have told me 10 years ago I would be a yoga teacher, no way. I'm a master instructor. Yeah. So that means I am on this journey where I'm actually teacher that teach to others. Maybe in a few years I'll do something a bit different. But the most important, and as an entrepreneur, you have to have your skills, find your talents, and find way. You see, every people has value into a different place. If you put a Ferrari in a garage, it's worth nothing. If you put it on the roads, it worth everything, So everyone is a Ferrari, basically. Or everyone is a sports car, everyone is a high performance. You just may be in the wrong place. So I felt I was in a wrong emotional place. And what I did now, I don't see myself as an entrepreneur, I see myself as a freelancer, because I have this dimension that I don't want to work for anyone, and I don't want anyone to work for me, except my close staff, you know what I mean? But the freedom, it's risky, because it doesn't have the stability that other situation can offer. But it gives you the words as a potential, and the word as a possibility, and all the disciplines. So I don't like to categorize myself into different things. I just like to use my talent, my skills, knowledge to help people and add value to project and anything.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure listening. And
thank you, Matt, for your patience.
An eye-opener to me. We're going to put all the notes in the show notes anyway. Just give yourself a quick shout out of where people can find you and follow you.
The easiest, I guess, DM on Instagram. That it's my main thing. Yeah. So I have a team, or myself, we read all the DM. So if you reach out to me, I will see it.
Well, listen, thanks a lot for sharing your story. Thanks a lot for sharing your lessons, and thanks for limbering me up. And I look forward to keeping in touch. And you can make this Ferrari lift to 108.
go on the F1 circus.
Thank you very much.
See you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to No Bollocks with Matt Haycox. Today's conversation was packed with actionable insights, and I'm super grateful that you joined us. Now, our community now boasts 160,000 downloads a month of this podcast, and that is a testament to entrepreneurs just like you who refuse to settle for mediocrity. So don't miss out. Subscribe now and gain exclusive access to the conversations that can transform your business and transform your life. Also, while you're at it, if you could visit www.matt-haycox.com or click the link in the show notes below, and please sign up to the No Bollocks newsletter. That's like the sister newsletter that lives with this podcast. Every week I send 2 emails, and in just 10 minutes you're going to gain more knowledge than most people do in a 3-year MBA. So please subscribe, rate, share this episode with someone who needs a No Bollocks boost. And until next time, keep hustling and keep winning.